What up, people? Welcome back to I Am Astrology Readings. I'm your host, Paul Heath. And what we are talking about today, Uranus's entrance into Gemini. Now, on I Am Astrology Readings, I like to help people out with the imagery and stuff. And so I like to infuse tarot. We have Uranus, which is represented by the Fool in the deck and the card 0, going into the Lovers card, which is Gemini, right? And we also have, when going into Gemini, the Decans of Gemini are represented by the 8, 9, and 10 of Swords. We have Uranus, Gemini, and the 3 Decans of Gemini. Now, what is Uranus? Uranus is the Fool in the deck. It's the 0 point, and it's about new beginnings, taking a leap of faith, disruptions, divine madness, liberation, revolutionary spirit, the rebellion, the journey to the unknown. Uranus, like the Fool, is represented by unpredictability and liberation. It's associated with sudden change, freedom from structure. The Fool takes a risk, steps off that cliff, trusting the journey, not knowing the outcome. He represents a break from tradition. The Fool, just as Uranus, likes to shock and shake up established norms. Now, on a live, when me and Tarot went through the tarot deck, we connected Uranus as the soul being born into flesh, the soul coming into a body, right? Now, we got the energy of Gemini. What is Gemini? Gemini is a mutable sign. It's the domicile of Mercury. Gemini is an air sign. Gemini is a masculine air sign. And when it comes to tarot, Gemini is represented by the Lovers card. Now, what is that? The Lovers card talks about the main thing. I know people think the main thing of the Lovers card could be relationships, but in all actuality, the main thing of the Lovers card is about choice, your choices. And it's interesting because the other day, I just had a conversation with someone talking about how people struggle to accept their choices, life choices, and people don't realize how important that is. Now, the Lovers card, not only does it point to choices, yes, it is about relationships, duality, integration of opposites, communication, conscious connections, the mirror. And we know how people struggle to look in the mirror. Some people don't avoid it at all. The Lovers card is also about your morals and your values based on your decisions. If you look at the card, you have 2 trees there, right? You got the tree of life and you got the other tree. Now, like I said, the Lovers card is connected to Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury. Now, what is Gemini about? Gemini is about dialogue, inner and outer. It's about decision making between dual paths, integration of the mind and heart, or masculine or feminine. You know, each, traditionally speaking, other than the sun and the moon, all planets have a masculine domicile and a feminine domicile. Mercury, masculine domicile is Gemini. Its feminine domicile is Virgo. Venus, Libra is masculine. Taurus is feminine. Mars, Aries is masculine. Scorpio is feminine. Jupiter, Sagittarius is masculine. Pisces is feminine. Saturn, Capricorn is Capricorn is feminine, Aquarius is masculine. And Saturn, and from this domicile of Capricorn and Aquarius, sits opposite the king and queen, which is the sun and the moon. I got off topic there, but for those who are not familiar with traditional rulership, there you go. All right. So we also have in the Lovers card, it's also about divinely guided choices, a fork in the road that forces growth. If you look at the card, it looks like you may think that's Adam and Eve sitting in the Garden of Eden, having to make your choice. You know, they did have to make a choice in the Garden of Eden. Are we going to eat this apple or not? We know the outcome. We've been paying for it ever since. So now we got the Uranus in Gemini. So what does that mean? The Fool meets the Lovers, right? So what can you expect with this? A radical, fated choice between dual paths. This transit symbolizes the soul's leap into the unknown territory through the mirror of duality. A revolutionary confrontation with communication, thought, relationship, and identity. Revolutionary decisions. A sudden choice that changes everything. Splitting and mirroring. Polarization reveals what must be reconciled. Rewriting of the story, new languages, new technologies, new ways of connecting with media. We reach the moral crossroad. The lovers always ask, what do you choose? Love or fear? Unity or division? We're taking a quantum leap in consciousness. The Fool says, leap, trust. Gemini says, decide with awareness. Uranus pushes both into new dimensions of thought. On a personal level, we're looking at sudden awakenings inside of relationships. Radical changes in beliefs, language, and identity. Leaping into new ways of connection, be it AI, mental telepathy, or whatever other forms they come up with, ways we could reach out and touch. Being forced to choose between two conflicting paths and trust the unknown. Are you going to go this way or that way? Now, like I said, Uranus is one of the outer planets. Gemini is a sign, and both Uranus and Gemini are connected to the major arcana in the deck, right? Again, like I said, the Fool is represented by Uranus, and remember, it's about rebellion, awakening, freedom, new paths, and sudden insight. Gemini, the Lovers, is about choice, mirroring, connection, duality, and the moral crossroads. Now, I also mentioned that Gemini has 3 cards. Each sign has 30 degrees inside of them, which means it can be broken down into 10-degree segments, 0 to 9, 10 to 19, 20 to 29, right? So the first, and the name of that is called Decans. Now within Decan system, the tarot is connected to the Decans. Now Gemini has 3 cards. It's the 8 of Swords, the 9 of Swords, the 10 of Swords. All 3 of those cards are connected to Gemini, right? Now, within those 3 Decans, there's also planets that, let's just say, are responsible for that. So the first decan of Gemini, Jupiter is responsible for it. The second decan of Gemini, Mars is responsible for it. And the third decan of Gemini is the the sun is responsible for it, which means Jupiter is connected to the Eight of Swords, Mars is connected to the Nine of Swords, and the sun is connected to the Ten of Swords. Now, what is the symbolic meaning of these 10 decans of Gemini, right? Like I said, the Eight of Swords is Jupiter's domain in Gemini, and Jupiter is in detriment in Gemini. It's actually in the opposite sign of its rulership, right? And Swords is connected to air. And when you have the Eight of Swords in that section of Gemini, speaks to mental entrapment, self-imposed limitations, and denial of freedom, right? Now, the Nine of Swords, which is, again, Mars's section, right? You think communication with Mars type energy. Mars is the warrior. Mars likes to cut and sever. Put it in the communication zone. What do we have? Anxiety, sleepless nights, inner torment, shadow thoughts, all air. Hey, sitting up all night worried about something somebody said to you, tormented about something that was said. Now, and then we have the Ten of Swords. Again, the sun's domain in Gemini. And if you look at the card, right, like I said, it's air. And 10 of anything, the last card of anything, is going to be of ending of some type. And the Ten of Swords is pointing to hitting rock bottom, ego deaths, betrayal. If you look at it, dude was stabbed in the back. We know what that means. I was stabbed in the back. Completion, 10, by the way, 10 in completion. Completion of a painful cycle. Completion of a painful cycle. By the way, I forgot to say this. What I'm speaking of, Uranus transit is it usually takes about 7 years for Uranus to travel through a sign. So what I am actually speaking of is a 7-year process. Now, when we have Uranus, the Fool, going into the Lovers or the Eight of Swords, what could that look like? The Fool enters a prison of the mind, a world built from outdated ideas, overthinking, and information overload. Jupiter's expansive nature feels restricted in Gemini here. Too many perspectives, none feel liberating. Collectively, think censorship, surveillance, echo chambers, or culture canceling of the truth. The challenge here, can you free yourself from mental narratives that no longer serve you? Good luck with that. Now we got the Nine of Swords. Again, Mars in Gemini. Now we got the Fool, confronts the shadow side of thought. Overanalysis, guilt. Anybody feel guilty about something you said to somebody? Trauma, fear-based loops. Keep telling yourself over and over again, you need to be fearful, Mars, aggression, right? Of something that happened in the past and you don't want to happen again. Mars equals activation, Gemini, the mind, right? The result, racing thoughts that keep you up all night. We all been there. Have you ever heard of having a dark night of the soul? Well, look at this as a dark night of the intellect. Having a mental exorcism. The challenge here, what false beliefs inside of you must die so the truth can emerge? The Ten of Swords Sun in Gemini. The fool experiences an ego death through mental collapse. The old narrative must die. That story that you've told 50, 100, 1,000, a million times over and over, that story must die. It can't live no more. The sun brings clarity, even if it causes pain. There's pain. Through the pain, you might see clearer, right? What's dead is dead. Ain't no coming back. According to, depending on whoever you talk to, only Jesus can bring somebody from the dead. Hey, I don't know where you at with that. Now, the only way, once you hit rock bottom, people are fearful. People are fearful of hitting rock bottom. But here's the thing. Once you hit rock bottom, there's only one way from there, and that's up. So, should you really be scared to hit the bottom? When we get to the Ten of Swords, this is the final card before you begin a rebirth. But you have to remember, something must come to an end to have a rebirth before something can be renewed, before the phoenix can rise out of the ashes. The challenge here, can you accept the death of what you thought you knew? Can you accept the death of what you thought you knew? And we know how much people fear death. Now, to bring all this together, the fool, Uranus, walks into the lover's domain, Gemini. But the road is not easy. We must pass through the darkest chambers of the mental realm, confusion, anxiety, and collapse. But these swords are the mental purification before true liberation. 8, 9, 10. 8. Illusion of imprisonment. 9. Inner confrontation. 10. Liberation through surrender. The fool is reborn again, wiser, freer, and no longer a prisoner of duality. Only then he can truly meet the higher octave of the lovers, conscious union, integration, and sacred choice. With all that being said, let's get to what you really came here for. What does all that mean for me, Paul? Oh, so you know what that means? Time to take it to the rising signs. What does the fool's journey through the lovers and the swords mean for you? Aries rising, third house activation, mind, communication, siblings, learning, and local community. The transformation, your entire mental operating system gets a radical upgrade. The way you think, the way you speak, and the way you process information will be completely revolutionized. Key changes, sudden breakthroughs in writing, technology, or communication skills. Mental frameworks that once served you will have to shatter and be rebuilt. Unexpected shifts with siblings, neighbors, and local community. You may outgrow people, platforms, or ideas rapidly. Impulsive speech could create both chaos and breakthrough. Aries rising, your journey through the swords, 8 of Swords, trapped by old thought patterns and limiting beliefs. Your 9 of Swords journey, anxiety about expressing yourself authentically, fear of saying the wrong thing. Your 10 of Swords journey, complete mental reset, death of old communication style, birth of your authentic voice. The fool's wisdom for you? What if freedom begins with how you speak to yourself? Challenge, avoid scattered focus and impulsive communication. Channel revolutionary insights constructively. Taurus rising, second house upheaval, values, money, possessions, self-worth, your resources. The transformation for you, Your entire relationship with money, possessions, and self-worth undergoes radical reconstruction. What you value will be completely redefined. Key changes for you: unconventional income resources. Do you need to embrace AI, start freelancing, come up with innovative venture ways to make ends meet? Material attachments tested or stripped away. Financial systems feel unpredictable and unstable. Deep reassessment of what truly holds worth in your life. Revolutionary approaches to earning and managing wealth. The Swords journey for you. The Eight of Swords, imprisoned by old survival stories and limiting financial beliefs. Your Nine of Swords journey. Fear of loss, poverty consciousness, and financial anxiety. The Ten of Swords, death of old self-worth story. Liberation from material dependency. Your Fool's wisdom, you're not your bank account. What values are eternal? Challenge, resisting change will only prolong financial suffering. Embrace new value systems. Gemini rising, first house identity revolution. Your identity, your appearance, personality, life direction, and self-expression. The transformation, complete identity metamorphosis, as in the caterpillar into the butterfly. You're not the same person in 2033. This is your most radical reinvention yet. Key changes, total personality overhaul, embracing eccentricity and authenticity. Changes in appearance, name, path, and fundamental self-concept. Others may project duality or confusion onto you. Breakthroughs come through embracing chaos and contradiction. Revolutionary self-expression that challenges societal norms. Gemini rising, your Swords journey. The Eight of Swords, trapped by others' perceptions and outdated self-concepts. Nine of Swords, internal war between who you are and who others want you to be. Ten of Swords, complete ego death and rebirth of authentic self. The Fool's wisdom, leap into the unknown. Let the mirror crack. Challenge, avoid overthinking your transformation. Trust the process of becoming. Cancer rising, 12th house, spiritual awakening, subconscious, spirituality, hidden matters, solitude, karma, and endings. The transformation, profound spiritual awakening and subconscious liberation. Hidden truths and psychic abilities emerge dramatically. Key changes, psychic breakthroughs, dreams, messages from beyond. Shadow work confronting hidden fears and ancestral patterns. Secrets or past karma suddenly unraveling. Spiritual awakenings through solitude and introspection. Mental health themes requiring attention and healing. The Sword journey for you. Eight of Swords, imprisoned by subconscious fears and hidden self-defeating patterns. Nine of Swords, sleepless nights, inner torment, anxiety about the unknown. Ten of Swords, karmic clearing, end of old suffering, spiritual liberation. The Fool's wisdom, you don't need to understand it all. Trust the unseen. Challenge, don't let anxiety about the unknown keep you spiritually stuck. Leo rising, 11th house, house of social revolution. Friendships, groups, hopes, dreams, social networks, your future vision, transformation. Complete overhaul of your social world and future aspirations. Your tribe and long-term goals undergo radical change. Key changes: revolutionary changes in friendship and group affiliations. Disconnection from networks that are no longer aligned with your evolution. Attraction to radical, innovative, and unconventional people. Breakthroughs in technology, activism, and humanitarian causes. Your vision for the future becomes widely different. Your swords journey. Eight of Swords. Imprisoned by outdated social expectations and limiting future vision. Nine of Swords. Disillusionment with friendships, groups, and collective movements. Ten of Swords. Letting go of dreams that never were. Embracing authentic vision. The Fool's Wisdom. Create a future that's worth leaping towards. One no one's written yet. Your challenge: ego classes in groups. Stay open to revolutionary and social connections. Virgo rising, 10th house career revolution. Your career, your reputation, your public image, authority, life direction, and professional identity. Transformation, complete professional metamorphosis, your career path, public image, and your relationship with authority undergo radical redefinition. Key changes: sudden career upheavals leading to revolutionary new directions. Changes in status, role, and how the world perceives you. Breaking free from the traditional professional structures. Ego death in professional life, leading to authentic service, unconventional career paths, or innovative professional breakthroughs. The Swords journey. The Eight of Swords. Trapped by old achievement metrics, limiting your professional beliefs. Nine of Swords. Fear of failure, reputation, anxiety, and professional crisis. Ten of Swords. Death of old professional identity, the rise of your true calling. Fool's Wisdom. Who are you without the titles? Leap into authentic service. Challenge: perfectionism won't serve you now. Embrace professional chaos as growth. Libra rising, 9th house, philosophical revolution. Beliefs, higher learning, philosophy, travel, worldview, spiritual truth. The transformation, complete philosophical and spiritual overhaul. Your beliefs, worldview, and approach to higher truths undergo radical reconstruction. Key changes: revolutionary shifts in belief systems and philosophical outlook. Breaks from traditional religion, institutions, or dogmatic thinking. Transformative travel experience and foreign culture encounters. Quantum leaps in consciousness and perception. Unconventional approaches to higher learning and spiritual growth. Your Swords journey. The Eight of Swords. Trapped by inherited belief systems and dogmatic thinking. Nine of Swords. Crisis of faith. Existential anxiety. Philosophical confusion. Your Ten of Swords. The death of old worldview, bringing birth of authentic truth. Fool's Wisdom. Let your beliefs shatter. Truth is bigger than comfort. Challenge: avoid indecisions that stall your spiritual growth. Make bold philosophical leaps. Scorpio rising, 8th house. House of transformation. Intimacy, shared resources, death and rebirth, transformation, hidden power, sexuality. The transformation, intense metamorphosis in intimacy, shared resources, psychological transformation, deep secrets and hidden powers emerge. Key changes, radical changes in intimate relationships and sexual expression. Upheaval in joint finances, inheritance, or shared resources. Uncovering hidden truths, secrets, and taboo subjects. Profound spiritual initiation and psychological transformation. Liberation from toxic entanglements or power dynamics. Your Swords journey. Eight of Swords, bound by trauma, fear of vulnerability, or controlling dynamics. The Nine of Swords, haunted by past betrayals and psychological wounds. Ten of Swords, death of toxic patterns, soul level liberation. Your Fool's Journey, to rise, you must first let the old self die. Challenge, release the need to control. Trust the transformation process. Sagittarius rising, your 7th house, relationship revolution. Partnerships, marriage, contracts, mirrors, commitment, one-on-one relationships. The transformation, revolutionary changes in how you relate to others. Partnerships become vehicles for awakening and authentic connection. Key changes, radical shifts in relationships, marriage, divorce, unexpected partnerships, attraction to unconventional partners and relationship structures. Painful but liberating relationship endings and new beginnings. Seeing new aspects of yourself through the mirror of others. Relationships based on freedom rather than fear or convention. Your Swords Journey. The Eight of Swords, trapped by codependency, control, or fear of separation. Nine of Swords, painful confrontations and conflict in partnerships. Ten of Swords, death of relationships, illusions, birth of truth based on love. Your Fool's Wisdom, let the mirror crack. Love from freedom, not fear. Challenge, don't avoid commitment. Reinvent it in your own terms. Capricorn rising, 6th house of daily life revolution. Your work, your health routines, your service, your daily habits, your physical well-being. Transformation, complete overhaul of your daily life structures. Work, health, and service are revolutionized through new approaches and new technologies. Key changes, major disruption in work routines and traditional employment. Revolutionary health breakthroughs and healing crisis. Integration of AI and technology into your daily work life. New forms of service that feel authentic and liberating. Breaking free from perfectionist and overwork patterns. Your Swords Journey. The Eight of Swords, imprisoned by perfectionism, rigid routines, and overwork. Nine of Swords, burnout, health anxiety, collapse of old systems. Ten of Swords, death of machine-like living, birth of authentic service. The Fool's Wisdom, you're not a machine. Rebel with rhythm. Challenge, your rigid thinking will backfire. Embrace adaptive flexibility. Aquarius rising, 5th house, creative revolution. Creativity, romance, self-expression, children, joy, play, artistic vision. The transformation, a creative explosion and romantic awakening. Your inner child breaks free from all the constraints and expresses wildly. Key changes, revolutionary creative breakthroughs in artistic expression, unexpected, exciting, and unconventional romantic experiences, sudden revelations or changes regarding children, learning to play, risk, and express authentically again, creative projects that challenge conventional artistic boundaries. Your Swords Journey. Eight of Swords, afraid to shine, trapped by creative blocks and judgment. Nine of Swords, fear of rejection, performance anxiety, creative crisis. Aquarius rising, do you have mom's spaghetti on your shirt? Ten of Swords, ego death leading to divine self-expression. Your Fool's Wisdom, create like no one's watching. Love like it's your last lifetime. Challenge, avoid over intellectualizing emotions. Let your heart lead. Pisces rising, 4th house, home revolution. Home, family, roots, ancestry, emotional foundation, your private life. The transformation, revolutionary changes in your home life and family dynamics. Ancestral patterns break and emotional foundations rebuild. Key changes, unexpected home changes, moves, family disruptions, new living situations. Ancestral healing and liberation from karmic inheritance. Family secrets or dynamics that suddenly come to light. Unconventional living arrangements or family structures. Emotional foundations completely rebuilt on authentic ground. Your Swords journey. Eight of Swords, trapped by family patterns and ancestral limitations. Nine of Swords, deep emotional pain and family trauma resurfacing. 10 of Swords, generational patterns end with you, emotional liberation. The Fool's wisdom. The past is not your prison. Build a home where your soul can fly. Challenge. Don't escape reality through fantasy. Face family truths directly. Let's keep in mind that this transit is not something that's quick hitting. It's a 7-year journey. You need to approach it with patience. And let's remember, Uranus in Gemini is the fool waking us up from the illusion of duality as he leaps through the lover's domain and the sword's darkest corridors. The ultimate question: what mental prison are you ready to leave? What truth awaits you on the other side of that fear? This 7-year journey of Uranus in Gemini is asking us to leap into the unknown with the courage of the fool. Make choices with the wisdom of the lovers and trust that our mental struggles are prepping us for the greatest liberation of our lives. Can you risk choosing love even when your mind is saying no? Now, for all of us, can you let that mirror crack? Can you leap into the unknown, not waiting for clarity? Start walking toward it. Can you let your identity evolve even when it's confusing at first? Can you embrace the breakdown of false images? Trust that truth and authenticity come after the shatter, not before. A total surrender of who you thought you were to discover who you really are. I want to thank you for joining me for this astrology ride of the day. Don't forget to come to the website to check the blog for further information if there's something you missed. If you want to book a reading, come to IamAstrologyReads.com. Hit the booking section. I'd love to hear you. Don't forget about the 2:00 sessions on Friday, $50 Friday. If you come to the website and you catch me live, $50. Hey, I'll pull up your stuff and chop it up with you for a minute. You can even get on camera with me and we could chop it up. You never know. You might end up on one of these videos you're looking at now. Who's to say? But yeah. Again, I want to thank y'all for rocking with me. I'm Paul Heath. You know how I end this. Know thyself and balance your energy.